PlayStation.
Welcome to the land of long live play, where greatness is always waiting. Welcome to the PlayStation Experience. I'm your host, Delphin Cox, and joining me as always is the Secretary of Spoil, the Platinum Princess herself, Miss Hayley Nicole Miller. How you doing, Hayley?
I am tired. I had to work last night. I started at like 20 after 5. I was supposed to start at 6. But I got there early and my manager was like, "Hey, we're short one person in the back room. Do you want to start?" I was like, "Sure, why not?" We didn't finish until 20 to 1, and I didn't get to lie down to sleep until 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So listener note, it is 7:20 in the morning.
Yeah, it's pretty early, so yeah, I get it. Yeah. I went to sleep early yesterday, then woke back up late and stayed up till like 2 o'clock.
Fun fact, by the way, Mark's Work Warehouse is a terrible store to inventory. It
Woo.
takes for it's a workplace, like it's a clothing store designated around like work, like workplace environments, like it's industrial level clothing, like construction equipment clothing, like work pants, stuff like that. It's just a tedious store to count.
I imagine in my head, it just has all the clothes the village people will be wearing.
The what?
The village people.
I don't understand the reference.
You don't know who the village people are?
It's 7 a.m. I might.
Oh my
you
God.
want to refresh my memory?
Let's just move on.
Okay. Anyways, I have another marks to do this afternoon in Fort Erie. So
for those people who understood the reference, I appreciate you.
Uh-huh.
But Hayley, I don't appreciate you.
That's okay. Your son didn't understand quite a few references I made when I went on his podcast on Friday.
Oh yeah, well, I guess we could talk about that real quick before we start anything. You know, my son has a podcast now. Go check it out. What is it called?
Hold on. It's Ren talks about stuff, I think.
Ren Talks Whatever.
There you
go. That's
go.
what it's called. I look it up on my podcast feed.
I just want to point out, I had to tell your son like multiple times throughout our recording, hey, maybe don't denigrate your audience, but you know.
Oh yeah, I've had that conversation with him already. Yeah. There's been multiple conversations had about his podcast from Dad. So,
to be fair, I also had to tell him maybe like you should have a cup of water or a drink or something when you record so you don't cough into the microphone.
Yes. You're saying things that I have mentioned and said.
He's learning. Also, it was his show, and look, Delvin Jr., I'm glad that you're having fun. That's the most important part, and know that I am not making fun of you. Man, why did I have to lead the conversation?
I'm going to move on from that conversation right now, but he's working on his podcast. He's learning his craft. So support him if you can. Give him a listen, and more importantly, send him some feedback to help him get better. I think that's the most important thing.
On the podcast, I had to guess why you gave him what we recorded with and not Zoom, and then I remembered, oh yeah, you need a login to record for more than 45 minutes with Zoom.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
That wasn't a secret. I gave him StreamYard. It's
I don't
like
know.
was,
I never heard of StreamYard until yesterday. I know
you never heard of StreamYard?
Streamlabs. No, I've heard of
Huh.
Streamlabs. I've heard of other services like that. Never heard of StreamYard before.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent for I guess for people who are inspiring podcasters out there who are listening to the show, all 5 of you. If you want like a decent free podcast recorder where you can record with someone else, try StreamYard. StreamYard has a paid service and a free version. The free version is pretty decent. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. Hayley, what you been playing? And the Terrified Downey, what you been watching?
Oh, okay. So actually, this is gonna make you mad.
Not me.
Oh, it's gonna make you mad. I know it is. So I lost track of where I was in my MCU rewatch. So because I enjoy pain, I decided to start it over. But this time I'm also adding in like watching the television show in chronological order. So I'm up to I finished Captain America Winter Soldier, and now before I can move to Guardians of the Galaxy, I have to finish season 1 of Agents of Shield.
So you felt like I don't have enough shit to do in my life. So I'm gonna watch the whole MCU again.
Mm-hmm.
And to make it more difficult, I'm gonna add in the shows.
Oh, not just these shows. I've got Agents of Shield and the Netflix shows to throw in there as part of this rewatch.
Why?
Because it's something to do. I have an entire week off coming up that I didn't ask for. So we're heading into slow season for the summer.
I know this may shock you a little bit, but hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. We do a video game podcast.
I do play video games a lot, actually.
You can play a lot more.
But I can't eat and play video games at the same time.
How often are you eating? You're eating for 2 hours? 2 hours and 30 minutes?
So for listeners at home who I think I've told this story before, y'all know I can't breathe out of my nose, right? So yes, it frequently takes me like
it takes you that long to eat, Hayley?
I have to open my mouth so I don't choke,
Hayley,
from lack of air.
You need to go to a goddamn doctor and tell them to fix it. You need to go there, sit in the doctor's office and say, I'm not leaving till you fix it.
Fun fact, that's not covered by my health insurance offered as being an Ontario citizen because it's considered cosmetic, despite the fact that, yes, I cannot breathe out of my nose. I can smell, I just cannot breathe out of my nose.
So what you should do is...
it usually takes me over 2 hours to eat, yes.
You should go in there, pass out, so they have to fix it.
That is not at all how that works. They'll just tell me to go home and come back if it happens again. What
happened to this free-handed Canada healthcare that everybody keeps raving about? Shit kind of sounds like it sucks.
No, I mean, it's good healthcare. Don't get me wrong. It's just passing out in the emergency room doesn't lead to you getting the results you want. It usually leads to them go, okay, we're going to do a couple tests. And then when everything's fine, if it happens again, come back.
You know what it feels like? This isn't that old of a reference. This might be your generation of a reference. So you should get this. I'm quite sure you won't. There's an episode of SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs gets sick. He's like in a coma. and then every time they find out he doesn't have health insurance or he doesn't want to pay the money for it, they wheel him further and further out the hospital.
That might be an episode of SpongeBob that aired after I stopped watching SpongeBob. So
now, well, it depends.
That doesn't I know the SpongeBob characters. That episode does not sound familiar.
That is a very old episode. That's probably maybe second season.
Are you sure about that? Because because the way that SpongeBob aired here in Canada wasn't in chronological order, so I don't actually remember that episode. I remember the I was born with glass bones chocolate episode. I remember Bubble Buddy. I remember Me Hoi Manoi, the fucking drawing and stuff like that.
It's around that era. I can't remember which episode it is, but I know Mr. Krabs ends up in a coma. I think because they lose his. Oh yeah, I think they lose his money. I know what it was. They threw away his mattress that had his money in it.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about. I don't remember most of that episode
Yes.
then.
They threw away his mattress because it had his money in it. And he fell in a coma because he didn't have his money. And then they took him to the hospital. And the doctor's like, sir, he doesn't have health insurance. Like, I'll just wheel him out to the lobby. So you see his coma lying corpse just laying in the lobby. Then they're like, hey, doctor, this man, he's taking up space. He says, let's roll him outside. And they just roll him outside. Then he just ends up rolling down the street. Yeah.
That is drawing a blank. Throwing away the mattress and him fainting because it had all his money in it, that I remember.
Yes.
I do not remember him being wheeled outside of the hospital, no.
Yes, he was wheeled out the hospital because he didn't have insurance.
Okay. That's what I've also been watching Dead City, which just finished season 1, so that's very good.
Damn, it finished season 1 already?
It's 6 episodes.
And it's season 1 there, so there's multiple seasons?
Yeah, actually season 2, well, we knew it was happening because we'd seen filming, but season 2 was officially confirmed Thursday at San Diego Comic-Con, as is it already confirmed that the Daryl Dixon show that starts in the fall also has already been renewed for season 2, but we knew that already because they're filming. And as some Walking Dead fans might know, it was a controversy that Melissa McBride couldn't join the first season of Daryl Dixon, and she is joining season 2 because she's been on set filming. So
because she's doing something else, right? Is she part of something else?
No, she couldn't make the commitment to travel to Europe to film. She had other filming commitments, so she couldn't join season 1. She was able to come and join season 2. So
okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Season 1 of Dead City is very good. I like no spoilers, but like, man, why did you have to go and dig up that corpse? Did we really need to do that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so
they brought back the relationship that Maggie and Negan have in like season 7B. Like, why? It's at the time Dead City takes place, it's been 15 years since, spoilers, it's been 15 years since Negan killed Glenn in the timeline. Why are we still doing this?
Oh, they were talking about that in episode 2. They were kind of combative about that.
Yeah, it gets worse. And like directly worse because of Maggie's own like bullshit. Like, it's been 15 years. I'm not asking you to be buddy with the man who killed your husband. I am asking you not to go back down the path 15 years later after you supposedly resolved this and left in a good spot, and now you're just like, let me go back to season 7, Maggie. What are we doing?
Here's a lesson for folks from Hayley. If someone kills one of your loved ones, forget about it.
No.
Get over it.
No, with a barbed wire baseball bat, bashes his head in.
You're making it better.
Pops out.
You're making it better.
I am making it better. and then there's a significant time jump in the timeline, but they show you two kind of resolving your differences in the main show. And then for the spinoff, they're like, hey, what if we brought back your adversarial nature, but not in like a way that makes sense? What if we just act like you never got past it, despite the fact that you did?
There you go. So people, if somebody kills one of your loved ones, like the song in Frozen says, let it go. Let it go.
No, we are not pulling your Frozen. All right, what have I been playing? I've been playing not a lot, actually. I've been playing a couple things. I've been playing Dying Light 2 because there's a Walking Dead crossover coming up starting on Tuesday.
Yes, that's the one with Rick Grimes, right?
Yeah, the Rick Grimes skin you'll have to pay for, but there's actual like Walking Dead items you can earn in the game as part of the event.
Funny how Rick Grimes is in Dying Light 2, but not in his own goddamn TV show.
His show is called The Ones Who Live and comes out next year.
Keep talking about Dying Light
2. So as people know, I said I might finish the story. In the time since we have finished recording, not only did I finish the story, I also finished the DLC. Man, that DLC was something.
Something good or something bad?
I'm gonna say it's all right. It's not really good. It's not really bad. The story of it at least makes more sense than half the shit that happens in Dying Light 2's main story, because my god, dude, some of the choices in Dying Light 2's main story are just like, what are we fucking doing? Like Dying Light 1 didn't have the best story, but it was at least believable. Um, I don't know at which point they just decided, hey, what if we give you superpowers that you can't reliably activate and also hinder you for no fucking reason? Um, Multiple times throughout the story. And then your ending is essentially, hey, what if we nuke the city? Or what if we still fire missiles at the city, but you leave? Huh?
Yeah, you leave. So that's the main thing. You get out of there.
Anyways, gameplay is very good. In that time of beating the DLC and beating the story, I have collected 125 out of 126 inhibitors, which are upgrades you use to upgrade your health or stamina in Dying Light 2. There's an upgrade you unlock, like as part of the main story, that allows you to put all of these health or stamina upgrades on the map, right? There are 126 of them before you start New Game Plus. As part of an update that was released after the game came out, they added 30 inhibitors specifically to New Game Plus so you can max out both stats, because before that you couldn't. Anyways, I have 125 out of 126 that you can collect before you start New Game Plus. The last inhibitor I need is not showing up on my minimap at all. It's not showing up on the enlarged map either. And anybody who's played Dying Light 2, Delvin, knows how big this map is. And I cannot find this last upgrade to save my fucking life.
And is it required for your trophies or not?
There's no way I can platinum Dying Light 2 anyway, so I'm not worried about platinuming it. It's like as playing it, the health upgrades, because I have my stamina maxed out, so I'm just upgrading health now. Having the full health upgrade would be super useful. So with this one missing, I will be 20 health points short off of the max upgradable amount once I move to New Game Plus and collect the 30 there. So the max stamina and health amount is 700 each. Without this one that I can't find, I'll be stuck at 680 health.
Oh, that's not that bad.
It's not too bad. It's just annoying, right? Because it's like every 3 inhibitors you collect, you can upgrade health or stamina. So there's 156 total once you've started New Game Plus. And the ones you collected before carry over. So you're not restarting that collection progress. You're just collecting the 30 that weren't available in the main game. So that's something. They also added legend levels, which are like once you've unlocked all the skills for parkour and combat, legend levels unlock. And those are like minimal increases to like two-handed blunt weapon damage or crossbow damage or stuff like that. But they're like worthwhile upgrades, and every time you level that legend level up, you also unlock a box that gives you a weapon, like a legendary weapon, and some crafting materials. So that's pretty good. Been playing a lot of that. And like I said, the Walking Dead crossover starts on Tuesday. I've been playing Final Fantasy, like Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy. Man, what the fuck is happening in that game? And also, what's the timeline? Because why does the main character have an Android phone and wireless headphones? But also, it's just a bunch of medieval stuff? What are we doing?
You got to kind of remember that. Well, I'm quite sure you know this. Final Fantasy's timeline is not. It's not really a timeline. It's more like,
It's
hey,
not.
it's like, hey, this is this separate universe that doesn't really apply to any other universe in the series, and it may be the little things a little bit different than what we normally expect.
Oh, I know. Like, but also like, this is a quasi prequel to 1. Just like it's set in the same world as one with different characters that takes place before the events of one.
I
And which
mentioned
is
this.
why I'm confused on the character having an Android phone and wireless headphones.
I mentioned this because in Final Fantasy 15, the one I played, they also have cars. I want to say they had a phone or something like that in it.
There is a phone. Also, the car turns into a jet at some point.
Yes.
So there's that.
But they also live in castles. So there's that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Final Fantasy is weird. The combat is like Dark Souls-ish. It's fun. Also, as part of an update they added with the DLC, you can now play as any one of the like you're still playing as Jack, so like in cutscenes you still appear as Jack, but you can change appearance to play as any one of Jack's companions. Um Man, if you change that appearance to a woman, it's something. So you remember how in Arkham Asylum, right? Harley Quinn, the motion capture was done by a man, so then it's like exaggerated waist and hip movements
I
for Harley
remember that.
Quinn in that game. Okay. So imagine that dialed up to 10 for if you change Jack's appearance to be his female companion, Neon, who, by the way, is like 2 feet shorter than him. Like in the most ridiculous nonsense fashion ever. Like Jack is like 5'7". I swear to God, this companion Neon is like 3'6".
Huh.
She's short as fuck. Like for no reason. Uh like in cutscenes, you're still Jack, but like gameplay wise, uttering words as Neon, running as Neon, who runs like this, I might add, across the battlefield for no fucking reason. Um, for anyone, since this is an audio podcast, I was swaying my hips and moving my arms in a very not good motion. That's how she runs. It's real weird.
What do you mean by not good motion? What are you trying to say? You can say it. You can say
It's a stereotypical depiction of the way women run. It's not good, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like a very over exaggerated feminine way.
Yes, but that's not like it's not just running in a feminine way. It's also she puts her arms up like she's running in terror while she runs.
Yeah.
It's weird, dude. But also that's Final Fantasy, and I have no idea what the fuck is happening. And they've muttered the word chaos like 700 times in 6 missions.
So that means you like the game so far.
Yeah, it's something. I'll finish it because I paid for it, but I don't know.
You know, just because you pay for something, you don't have to finish it, right? That's.
I spent like $63 on it. I'm gonna finish it because I can't return it. So,
Are you enjoying it enough to finish it? That's what I'm trying to figure
the
out.
combat, yes. The story, I can't say because I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, that's pretty much Final Fantasy.
And the other thing I've been playing is I bought the Starlight skin for Modern Warfare 2, so I've been playing some multiplayer matches in Modern Warfare 2. That skin was $30.
That's a lot. It's just for her?
Well, it's more than just the skin for Starlight. You get like loading screens with Aaron Moriarty on them. You get like weapons that have significantly better like loadouts. 2 of them themed after Starlight, and you get a bunch of like equipable items that are Starlight themed in there. And it was like $24.99 for what I needed to buy the bundle. But
seems like a lot for that bundle. But I guess it makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it's not just usable in multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2. It's usable in Warzone as well, but I don't play Warzone, so.
So how much did it cost if you want all the characters that they released in?
So yeah, they release if you want to buy all 3, like Homelander, Black Noir, and Starlight. In Canada, it's gonna cost you, I want to say like $87 after tax. In the US, probably 75.
That's a whole nother goddamn game.
Yep.
That's a lot. But I guess people pay for it because it's Call of Duty, so yeah.
I mean, yeah. Of course they pay for it. It's the same way people pay for Fortnite skins.
But Fortnite skins aren't that much though. Doesn't it come with like a
They
3-pack?
Depends. Like I've seen a single skin. Like let me give you an example. Aloy for Fortnite, 2,000 V bucks. Which to buy enough V bucks to do that in Canada, which as you know, Fortnite offers them in weird incremental values. So you can't just buy 2,000. You can buy 1,000 or you can buy 2,400, right?
Yes.
Well, 1,000 V bucks in Canada is $13.49. Aloy is a $26 skin because you'd need to buy um $2,000 V buck packs or one 2,400 V buck pack, which is $26.99.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, that's microtransactions for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun. I've been playing a lot of Shipment, which is a very small map set on the cruise ship. And it's very fun. I die a lot, but I also kill a lot. I think my last match I played yesterday, I had 45 kills and like 31 deaths. So it's fun. What you been playing?
Not much really. I've been playing. I finished Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, so that's great. I enjoyed my time with that game. It's a pretty good game. I don't think I like it as much as I like the first one, but I do like it a lot. I think the experience is good. It's a great story. There are a couple of surprises in the game that make you kind of like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, it's a little slow paced. You know, if you listen to the episode of the Nintendo Shop, we talk about it. It's a little slow paced at the beginning, which is fine. You know, I don't think people expect these Oxenfree games to have action pack every 5 minutes and things like that.
No, I've played Oxenfree 1.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be action packed. Oxenfree is great. I just have a bunch of games that I have to pay for future episodes of the show.
You don't have to pay for the games for future episodes of the show, Haley. We can just not talk about the game.
Oh, but we're going to talk about the games. One of them I only have to buy the early access pack for. You know this because
no, I don't. What game are you talking about?
I'm talking about Starfield. We're going to do an episode on Starfield.
It's not even coming to PlayStation.
Doesn't fucking matter. We already had this discussion. Don't act like you don't know this. We already had this discussion.
Man, this is a PlayStation podcast. We don't talk about stuff.
About random nonsense enough that I think people are okay with us talking about an Xbox specific product.
We don't discuss things that are not about video games or PlayStation here. Where are you getting this stuff from? Who does that? What type of podcast talks about stuff?
Just so people are aware, I did not spring this on him. We had this discussion the last time we recorded. He's just being facetious.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
I don't talk to you outside the show. Why are you lying to these people?
Why am I lying to these people?
Talk to you outside this show. What are you talking about? That doesn't happen.
It sure does. Before people freak the fuck out.
Why would they freak out?
I don't know. Remember, people freaked out when they thought I was actually mad at you the last time this happened.
Yeah, there's that.
I just need to buy the early access pack so I can access it on September 1st. Because September is apparently a busy work month, so as much extra time as I can get with Starfield, I'm gonna get with it before Cyberpunk comes out.
When does Starfield come out?
The 6th of September. But if you if you pay like the $25 for the early access, you can play it on September 1st. So,
jeez, that's right around the corner. I didn't realize it was that close.
That's literally why I haven't bought Oxenfree. Like Delvin Jr. was like, "Are you gonna play Oxenfree too?" Yeah, I plan to. I have other stuff that like is more important to me on my list of like, hey, what I need to play and talk about. That I'm gonna pay for first because I pay for everything in advance, so I know it's paid for and taken care of, right? So, I'm glad you're enjoying your time with it. I want to ask. I saw you cleared out your Steam Deck.
Yeah, I upgraded the hard drive again to get a 1 terabyte because originally I had the 64 gig that came with the Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got that one because that at the time when I bought my Steam Deck, that was the only one available.
Fair enough.
If I remember correctly, they're all sold out. So then when I got that one in, I was fine with that because I was like, I want to see how this works first before I start investing again. See if I like it first.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got that one and I realized I liked it, I want to say I got a 512 next.
I think you did. I think we talked about you getting the 512. I wasn't sure like why you cleared out your Steam Deck, and that's why I was asking about it.
Oh
Because
no, that's a good question.
I haven't had a chance to listen to PSVG yet. The manager I've been working with at work has asked me not to wear headphones at work, so I haven't had a chance to
That's
listen.
cool. But we didn't even talk about all that. So this is a exclusive to PSXP. So I changed it to the 512, and I was enjoying it, and I had a 1 terabyte in my system. 1 terabyte SD card in my system, and it was good, but the Steam games had to take up a lot of space.
They do, yeah.
They're like full like console sized games on these, so that you run out of space really fast.
Yeah, I mean, like Resident Evil 2, like remake on Steam is I want to say like 49 gigs.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And so I originally didn't want to get in a 1 terabyte because they were saying that people were having problems with them and things like that, putting them in there. And they weren't recommending that you do that. So I said that's why I got the 512 first. So I waited a little bit, and I see that people are kind of having the 1 terabyte are pretty much still good with it. There's a couple of rare situations people are like, it's not working right. Then it went on sale for Amazon Prime Day.
Yep.
For real cheap.
I mean, storage is cheap right now in general. Like I could buy a 4 terabyte NVMe card for like the PlayStation if I wanted for I want to say $3.99, which for reference, when I bought my 2 terabyte M2 drive that's in my PlayStation right now, that was $500.
Yeah. And
so it's literally like $150 cheaper to buy a 2 terabyte larger drive for the PlayStation, which I would then take the 2 terabyte card that's in my PlayStation and put it in my PC because I have an extra NVMe slot in my laptop. I could do that. I'm not going to now.
Since you mentioned that, I can say this too. I also for Prime Day bought a 4 terabyte for my PS5 because it was really cheap as well. And I gave the 2 terabyte to my son and the 1 terabyte to my daughter.
Nice. Do they both have PS5s or what's your daughter gonna use?
They both have PS5s.
Okay.
One Christmas I got my son one, and the next Christmas I got my daughter one. Was it Christmas? I think it was Christmas, yeah.
Oh. Speaking of your daughter, I also told Delvin Jr. probably to not tell them to fuck off while we were recording yesterday.
Oh my God. He did that.
Yeah. Well, he didn't say fuck off. He said fuck you, but I was still confused as to why he was doing it. I don't have the context for why he said it, but
I don't want to talk about this podcast no more. I can't.
Speaking of, is it only available on Spotify or is it available in other places too?
I don't know. I'm not going to talk about this podcast. I'm not going to mention it because Jesus Christ.
He's a character, Delvin Jr.
Yes, he is.
But that went well. Your Steam Deck upgrade is working?
Yeah, it's working good. I'm adding ROMs to it now.
Okay.
I put in a couple of emulators. I think it's called EmuDeck. I put that in there. And I put I can't remember what it's called, Decky Pro or something like that. That you add like little cool functions to the Steam Deck. So yeah, I'm excited to add a bunch of games to the Steam Deck from Dreamcast and other fun stuff. But yeah,
you gonna add Clock Tower to it like Donnie does to his devices?
I'll add the PS1 version. That's the one I played.
Well, I figured. You make it to Final Fantasy 16 yet, or are you still over there in Zelda Land?
Still in Zelda Land. I don't know. I was afraid this was going to happen, but it was a necessary thing to do. I played Oxenfree because I wanted to beat Oxenfree first
Mm-hmm.
because I know Zelda's taking me a long time. Now, what I was afraid was going to happen happened. Because I took that time off of Zelda, I feel a little rusty and not motivated to continue. But I am going to continue because I want to finish this game. I spent a lot of time and hours into it. It's taking me a while to beat it, which is taking away from a lot of other games that I could be playing, but I want to see it through because I'm enjoying the game. And I want, like I said, when I first started playing Tears of the Kingdom, I said I wanted to give it a real shot to see how I really feel about it and stuff like that. And I did, but I want to see the whole thing through to give it a whole college try. And this is, and to be clear, this is one of the reasons why I didn't get into Elden Ring. Because I felt like if I was to do this same thing with Elden Ring, it'll be the same thing. I'll be playing it on months in or months out. And it would take up way too much time. And I didn't want to be sitting there playing Elden Ring for like 4 months. Be like, hey, I'm halfway there
It's
through the
okay.
game.
Elden Ring's gonna come back into the conversation again after Rubicon, anyways. So
Yeah. So I just figured I could just
as
wait.
soon as that DLC drops, all you're gonna hear about is Elden Ring. So don't worry.
I just kind of want to finish. I want to finish the games I want to finish right now. You know, I want to finish Zelda. I want to have time to play the Spider-Man 2s and a bunch of other stuff I want to play.
And the Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out.
I know you want to play the Cyberpunk DLC. You've already mentioned that.
Yes.
I know that like you might want to play the Hot Wheels game because I know you and I were the outliers and that we
Yes.
really liked it.
Yes.
Not outliers. Josh liked it a lot too. But I don't remember anybody else really mentioning it. I know Donnie tried it, but I know he's not excited for the second one. So
yeah. So it's just one of those things when you get into one of these long games, you don't have enough time to play the other things you want to play. So it's like, Zelda's great. I love it, but I also want to have time to explore and enjoy other worlds.
Also, let's point out, he says long games like I don't finish those on a daily basis.
Well, that's because you have a lot of time. Apparently, you have, I don't know what you've done. You found some type of time vortex or some type of wheel of time where you can just rewind time and just have infinite amount of time.
It's called having no IRL friends that live in the city that you live in. And so for your free time, you basically just play games. And also it's also having a job where you have a set start time, but you don't have an end time. So you could go to work at 6 a.m. in the morning and be done by 10 a.m. So which by the way is what happened to me on Thursdays. So I literally started work at 6 a.m. We were done by 10. That was the rest of my day. I was just free to do whatever the fuck I wanted at that point.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good thing, I guess.
Like, I know I have a long day coming up. Like August 1st, I have 2 gas stations and then a hardware store after it. So that's gonna be a long day. But like, you know, it is what it is. Some days you'll work like triple shifts in a row, which is fine. I did a double on Tuesday. I had a grocery store, and then 7-Eleven after it.
So how much more you got to do? Like how long? Because you say this, it seems like your schedule's inconsistent, to say the least.
Not so. Yeah. So basically it's based on when stores need us, right? So like I'm booked like pretty much like straight through. Like I have Monday off. I have Thursday off. And I have the Monday after off, and then like I work straight through pretty much until the 4th of August. Then I have like a week where like nothing happens, and then I've got more shifts. Sometimes it just depends on like what stores need us. Like February for us is kind of a light month, right? So like I had like 9 days off in a row in February, but then after that, February picked right up, and I just couldn't. I didn't really have a lot of free time then, right? But like in August, I've been told it's a slower month, but I know we're gonna pick right back up as soon as school starts. Like we're gonna speed right into like working doubles sometimes, right? So it all depends, right? Like last night, I was scheduled to start at 6. I started an hour early and we finished at 20-1, right? So like all depends, right? So a lot of times I am working like a standard 8-hour shift. It's just depending on when I start, I might have 10 hours of my day free to me, right? Like it all depends. So
That's not bad. I imagine that during the holiday season they'll probably pick up too. So
I've been told December is a very light month for us, but that might not be so much of a worry, which, as I told Delvin Jr., I'll tell you after the show.
okay, all right, we got some news stories to get to, so let's have at it. Our
Sure.
first news story, a fun one, I think. So, at San Diego Comic Con, new information about Star Wars Outlaws was released, and it gave two new locations: Toshara, which is a moon planet, I think they said, and Tatooine. Now,
We're going back to the planet with sand.
oh, this is the fun part about it. The developers also discussed the opportunity to cross everyone's favorite mob boss, Jabba the Hutt.
Mm.
And let me read what a quote from the developers. This concept of virtual tourism is important to us. If you ever wondered the distances from moisture farms to the cantina, we have an experience for you. We'll also be spending a lot of time at Jabba's palace, it sounds like, running missions for the Hutt himself and navigating the criminal underworld that he's the center of. And yes, not only is it possible to work for Jabba, but you can also betray him, which has its own set of consequences. So, Hayley, what do you think about the idea of working for and betraying Jabba the Hutt?
Man, fuck Jabba the Hutt. Betraying that motherfucker at the first opportunity.
That sounds awesome. That kind of sounds cool. That you can either choose to work for him or like cross him. And I think that this game, it sounded like it might be good. It sounded like kind of the Star Wars game that I kind of want.
It for a game where like you're playing as a scoundrel, yeah, it's seeming pretty good. Expectations in check, right? Because it's not coming out till probably late 2024. So
yeah.
But you know, it looks great. I didn't get to see much of the San Diego Comic-Con stuff for this game specifically. But it sounds really cool that yeah, you can work for Jabba or you can betray him. Which by the way, I'm gonna betray him because he'll betray you at the first opportunity.
That is correct.
Sounds pretty cool. The main character design is pretty cool as well. So
yeah, it looks pretty cool. Looks pretty fun. I like Star Wars. I want more great Star Wars games. I know people love Fallen Order,
and Survivor, which just got another patch, still does not fix the performance.
That's disappointing. But what can you do? All right. Our next news story is not. It shouldn't be much of a surprise, but this is something that we won't stay on for long. A new Firewall game is coming out August 24th. Do you remember this game? Hayley, it's a PSVR game.
Yeah, it's Firewall Ultra, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the name of the new one. I think the first one was called Firewall Zero Hour.
Yes, I knew the first one was called 0 Hour. I just couldn't remember what the subtitle for Firewall 2 was. Yeah, I mean, it's VR, so I can't play it. I don't have a VR system or the space to even do VR. I don't have 6 feet between my TV stand and my bed, so
yeah, and the first Firewall did really well. I know people love the first Firewall 0 Hour, so I'm quite sure people who have PSVR are pretty excited for this one. So August 24th, Firewall 0 Hour. They say, it has it's more immersive because of the PSVR 2, of course, and they've had a whole bunch of other things into it. I think they said they have eye tracking in it, so you can close your eyes to kind of numb the effects of a flashbang and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
That sounds fun. Let's just throw a flashbang in your enemy's eyes, and if they don't close them, they're gonna get blinded.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
VR warfare. It sounds cool for those who have a VR system or into like multiplayer VR games, but I don't know. VR for me is a weird one because, like, depending on the context, I can get motion sick. So VR has just never really been my thing. But also, like I said, there's not even 6 feet between my TV stand and my bed. My room is not really meant for an adult woman. But uh I'm happy for those who are ready to play it, So
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, our next news topic is a phone. We talked about it before, but it's now been confirmed. San Diego Comic Con gave us the first look at Peacemaker and Homelander in Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh, not just Homelander, Omni-Man too.
Yes.
Which, by the way, Ed Boon later came out and confirmed is voiced by J.K. Simmons in the game.
Yes.
Which shouldn't be a surprise to most people. But yes, Omni-Man is voiced by J.K. Simmons. I presume that Peacemaker will be
voiced by John Cena.
by John Cena, and I know for a fact that Homelander will be voiced by Anthony Starr because Anthony Starr has been on record as saying he doesn't want anyone else to voice Homelander.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're kind of correct. You said everything.
I mean, which makes sense because Homelander is Anthony Starr's like defining character right now. So
yes.
Yeah.
So the in this first DLC pack, it's going to include Peacemaker, Omni-Man, Homelander, and Quan Chi, Ermac, and Takeda. So that's a pretty solid lineup for that first one. Also, I almost forgot. I think this is also included in it too. And I'm super excited for this. The alternate Jean-Claude Van Damme skin for Johnny Cage.
Yeah, that was already talked about.
Yeah, that's going to be included in this first pack.
It doesn't even matter because Jean-Claude Van Damme is like in it already.
As what?
As Johnny Cage. He's Johnny Cage.
Well, he's voicing Johnny Cage, talking about?
I'm fairly certain that that's what Ed Boon said.
Okay, that's cool. Do you know the story behind that?
Yes, that he was based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme in the first place, yes.
Well, originally, Mortal Kombat was supposed to be a Jean-Claude Van Damme game.
Oh.
If I remember correctly. Yes, it was supposed to be a Jean-Claude Van Damme game, and something happened, and he ended up backing out of it. And then they kind of just made this one.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. It feels weird that 2 guest spots are taken up by what are essentially evil Superman clones.
A little bit, but I think that these are highly requested characters. So
yeah, they're characters that are requested highly in pop culture. You should know, for anyone wondering, Ed Boon did come out and say that he has talked with Robert Kirkman about potentially using Walking Dead characters for future guest spots as well. So that'll be interesting. Usually what happens when they do a guest spot with a Walking Dead character is it's like Negan or one of the bad guys. So
yes.
Which
should
makes
be Rick
sense.
Grimes, I think. That's what I want it to be. Nick Grimes.
It would be very funny to watch Rick Grimes fatality Scorpion. I'm just saying.
Yes. Okay. To call back what I was talking about earlier, I want to find it so I can let you to be clear on it. The inclusion of Jean-Claude Van Damme is a novel callback to Mortal Kombat's history, as the game was originally conceived as a companion video game to the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Bloodsport before the idea was scrapped. So there you go.
Yeah.
So originally, Mortal Kombat was supposed to be a Bloodsport game.
I've never seen that movie, so.
You never seen Bloodsport?
I've not seen most Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I'm 27.
Hayley, why do you disappoint me so much? It's like you come in here and say, how can I ruin Delvin's day? And then you just go off and ruin it. Why? What have I done to you?
Nothing.
You've done nothing. And you insist on coming here saying these things to hurt me. But I don't know why.
It's not to hurt you. It's just accurate. I haven't seen most Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
Bloodsport is the one that everybody should have seen by now. Bloodsport is the movie that people love.
I don't have cable. So
It's like on regular TV. It's like Bloodsport's old enough to be in anywhere.
it's like on regular TV. I just said I don't have cable. And
That
also you can't get over the air TV in Canada now without a digital receiver. So
oh my God, Haley.
but also why would I want to do that? That the quality on that is terrible for over the air television.
But you don't have cable.
I have a bunch of streaming services. It's not on any of them. And I am not going to go buy it on iTunes. And you know, I buy stuff on iTunes all the time. I literally bought something on iTunes yesterday. I'm not going to go buy a bunch of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies when I don't know if I like them enough to want to watch them a second or third time. Yeah.
You don't have to buy a bunch. You just have to buy Bloodsport.
I'm not going to buy Bloodsport.
You're a terrible person, Haley.
I bought Inglourious Bastards yesterday because it was on sale for $5.
That's a good movie.
Yes, it is. It's a very good movie. iTunes has it on sale right now for like $4.99 in Canada, so I can't imagine what it is in the States. iTunes also has the Super Mario movie for $12.99. So
I was just checking. Bloodsport is on Max.
which doesn't exist here in Canada.
Canada's just terrible.
It doesn't exist here in Canada because HBO has an agreement with Bell Canada to air content from HBO Max on its streaming service Crave, which I do have, but Bloodsport is not on. Before you even tell me to go look there, it's not. It's not there.
Every day, you in Canada just figure out new ways to disappoint me.
And yet Sean Capri doesn't. So
who said Sean Capri doesn't disappoint me? He disappoints me all the time. I just don't talk to Sean Capri as much to limit my disappointment.
Uh-huh.
Also, it just seems like Sean Capri lives in a better version of Canada than you do. Like y'all live in alternate Canadas.
He does live in the prairies, so you know.
Like he lives in the good Canada, you live in the bad Canada. Like he gets healthcare.
Live in, for now. We're not gonna get into that. That's a whole other thing. Yeah. Streaming rights are real weird in Canada, and even Sean can tell you that. Like we just got, like I said, I think I said this last time we recorded. We just got the Harley Quinn animated show. It's on Netflix, but you know that it's about to start its 4th season, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what's available on Netflix is only season 1 and 2.
All right, we're moving on.
Streaming rights are weird.
We're moving on now. We're gonna move on from this because this is ridiculous. So, San Diego Comic-Con again, dropping us more stuff. They showed a Marvel Spider-Man 2 story trailer, so we get to see more of Venom. We get to see more of what's going on. What did you think? I think they kind of.
Oh, that trailer looks fantastic. And I see people are jumping to the wrong conclusion about who Venom is based on that trailer, by the way. So
yes, they are. I don't know if it's the wrong conclusion, but they're jumping to a conclusion. But before we get to that, Haley, we have a question. So we'll just answer that question here since we're talking about it. Let me see if I can get to that question. I'm going to go to it. Okay, from Hollywood Bones. He says, we got a new trailer for Spider-Man 2, and we got a new face for MJ. What are your thoughts on the Spider-Man franchise where they keep updating the faces?
Okay, so let me point this out. Have y'all ever, this is not a slight on Hollywood Bones before anyone takes it the wrong way. Have y'all ever met a woman, like, at all?
I'm talking to one right now, so what are you talking about?
Thanks for answering the rhetorical question. You are aware that, like, the way you wear your hair can shape your face, right? It's not a new face. It's the same face. And in fact, Insomniac already came out and started dealing with this criticism already on Friday when this trailer dropped. Literally, a bunch of people were like, why'd you change MJ's face? And they're like, it's the same actress that we just did an updated scan for. And also, we changed MJ's hairstyle for the game, so her face is framed by her hair now, so it looks a little different, but it's the same face. Same with Peter.
I was going to say that too.
It's the same face from Spider-Man Remastered and Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's the same face, just an updated scan, and
He
the
looks a little more.
actor.
He looks a little older.
Well, there's a time jump,
Yeah,
so
that's what I was going to allude to. Yes.
there is a time jump from the end of Miles Morales till now. But like the faces haven't changed. The only thing that really changed that we saw in this trailer is Miles has starter locks now,
Yes.
which I've seen two different reactions to that. And I was talking to Delvin Jr. because he wanted to talk about this too on his podcast. I was talking to Delvin Jr. about it. I've seen two different reactions. One, which I saw from Blessing Adebayo Jr., was saying, "Man, Miles's hair looks fantastic. I'm very excited. I can't wait." And then somebody else that I saw was replying to Blessing, going, "Man, are you sure? Because this seems racist." And I was like, I'm not a black person, so I can't talk on whether or not Miles having starter locks is racist, but like, what are we doing?
Why would it be racist?
I literally don't know. I've seen two different reactions. I've seen people going, "Man, Miles's hair is racist," and others going, "Man, Miles's hair looks great." So
This is why I don't listen to people's on the internet. They just be saying shit. I think it looks cool. I think everything about this game looks great and kind of what I expected it to look like. I'm excited for it still. I'm super excited for it. I think it's just a great thing. I'm excited to see Venom. I'm excited that we're getting I don't want to say aging, but an older Peter Parker and an older Miles a little bit.
yeah, so I don't know what Peter's age will be in this game, but know that in the end of Miles Morales, Peter's only like 24. So
yeah,
um but like a couple of like interesting tidbits in this trailer. Mr. Negative is back.
that's cool.
It seems like he and Miles are gonna have a confrontation about what he did Jefferson, so that's interesting.
Yes,
We got our first look at Wraith,
yes.
which looks cool. It seems kind of like Venom's gonna be playable in a section because of how that trailer ends. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't happen because another game's kind of already done that whole section there. Um, Shout out to the Ultimate Spider-Man game on PS2.
Great game.
Very good game, yes. And Harry looks cool, which is what I wanted to point out. Where I see people are jumping to the wrong conclusion from this trailer. So Brian Intihar, creative director, has come out and said that Venom is someone who has never been Venom before, ever, which kind of eliminates a couple of people from the cast as being a choice for Venom. Now, he could be lying out his ass, but Intihar has a very good track record of things he says being true. I want to point out people who have been Venom who are in this trailer: Craven,
Okay.
Harry Osborn, Norman Osborn have all been Venom. And Peter has also been Venom in a what if story. So,
hot take. I don't know if it's a hot take, but maybe it is. I kind of want Harry to be the Green Goblin.
I'm sure he will be if he doesn't succumb to his illness.
Yeah, I would think that I want a really cool Green Goblin Spider-Man fight. I think that'll be awesome. Like just having Harry be the Green Goblin and just have that tell that story. I think Venom is a cool enough character that you can tell his story on his own. And Green Goblin, on the other hand, is a cool enough character that he can carry his own story as well. Both of them in the same game, I think is cool. But I love the stories of the Green Goblin in comic books. Like, the fact that he killed Gwen Stacy and stuff like that is
Of the 616 universe.
yes. I think is a really cool touch. And that was Norman, but still, it was
That
Green
was.
Goblin.
Speaking of Green Goblins, have you heard the news?
What?
In the comic books, Peter Parker is about to become the Green Goblin.
Why?
Because whoever's writing Spider-Man right now doesn't like Spider-Man, so Spider-Man himself is literally about to become the Green Goblin.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on in these comics lately.
Yeah.
They killed Miss Marvel off, and then we're bringing her back a month later.
Oh, but also I will say that's very cool, by the way, because part of the creative team for Miss Marvel for the new like Miss Marvel run is Iman Vellani, which
Yeah,
is
I saw
Miss
that.
Marvel from the MCU.
Yeah, I saw that part. That's cool. But like, why kill her off? You're just gonna bring her back a month
Uh,
later.
I mean, they did the same thing with Superman. They killed like not Marvel, obviously, but like they killed Superman, and then like 6 months later, like, hey, here's the return of Superman. Like,
Yeah.
Comic book deaths never stick, except two are constant. Fucking Uncle Ben and Bruce Wayne's parents. Those are the only ones that fucking stick. And even Bruce Wayne's parents is becoming, hey, not really sticking because they keep going back to Flashpoint Batman.
Yeah. All right.
Which, if anyone doesn't know what Flashpoint Batman is, in that universe, Bruce Wayne dies, his mother becomes the Joker, and his father becomes Batman instead. So,
yes.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about some more stuff with the Spider-Man thing. They unveiled the Spider-Man PS5, which looks dope as shit.
Which I'm calling in my winning bet, by the way, because one of these things I want, it is not available in Canada, like at all.
What's the thing?
I want the controller, but I can't order it here.
That's weird.
I know. PS Direct doesn't ship here, so.
So it's a cool controller that kind of has like it's red and black. They have the Spider-Man symbol on it, and it kind of has like the little Venom ooze on it.
On the console. It's got the symbiote like trailing down the console. It looks very cool.
Yes. And also, they did something that I appreciate.
You can buy them separately.
You can buy them separately. So if you just want the controller, or if you just want the plates, you can buy the space plates.
And they have both variant of PS5 plates, which is very nice.
Yes.
And I don't know how much longer that will keep happening for once they only start making the digital one with the attachable disc drive.
So you don't have to buy a whole new PS5 to own these. You can kind of just buy the covers if you want to. And I think that's dope. And I think I might do that. So what do you think, Haley?
Like I said, the controller looks great. I want it. I can't order it in Canada. So I'm hoping you'll let me cash in my winning bet early.
We will see about that. Wouldn't that cost way more? Because I would have to order it, have it shipped to me, then ship it to you.
I mean, I'll pay you for the shipping.
It's like a scam.
Like, literally. No, it's the same price. It's the same price of a game in Canada, sir.
Like the economy, Haley. You're trying to.
I'm not conning you at all.
Like a flim
and also, I will pay for the extra shipping that will inevitably happen from you buying this controller for me.
Like a flim flam, Haley. Trying to run a fast one over me, Haley.
Not at all. You know this.
Let's see. Do we have any questions about this stuff? I'm trying to see.
We do have some about faceplates. Yes.
I'm trying to look for. Okay, here you go. Todd Ostra asked. I think this is a good question to add on this. What side panels do you want for future games and franchises for the PS5?
I think one done around Last of Us would be cool. You could do something with the cordyceps. Horizon would be good as well. You could do like the Pharaoh Plague or something like that. I'm trying to think of ones where you could have interesting designs, right?
Ghost of Tsushima would be great.
Yeah, but what would that be though? Because one of the most interesting designs in that game is the wind flow, which I don't know how you would illustrate as like a console faceplate.
You could have the ghost mask, isn't it? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can have Jin, you can have the sword, you can do a few things with it. Depends on how in detail you want to get with it.
Yeah. Like a good example is like what they did for God of War on the PS4, like 2018's God of War.
Yeah, that could be cool. You know, there's a lot of franchises that PlayStation has that you can kind of do cool stuff with. I think if you want to go more towards the kids' way of it, do a Little Big Planet one.
That'd be cool.
Do a Ratchet and Clank one would be pretty cool. Uncharted, of course, would be a mainstay, not for necessarily for kids, but you know that's a good one you can do. Shoot, now that they have it, do a Destiny one.
Yeah, Destiny would be a good one. Could go back to your retro catalog and do like maybe a bunch of plates done around Infamous, maybe Resistance.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about it. PlayStation hasn't been doing this stuff, so now they're starting to branch themselves out into it. I think people eat these things up. And considering that they have a whole bunch of franchises they're kind of either licensing out or making, it's a lot. It's a lot that they can kind of go off of. You can kind of do Wolverine because Wolverine's coming out
Yeah, you
eventually.
could do. I'm sure we'll get Wolverine faceplates, but that'll just be like slashes across the plate, and you know it.
Maybe it'll be the color of the Wolverine suit, something like that. They can figure it out.
But is he gonna wear the Wolverine suit in the game?
Yeah, that's a good point. There's a lot of things you could do with these faceplates. I like the faceplates. I like the idea of it. You can kind of just change the faceplates you want it. I bought the vinyl skin on mine, so mine's just
I know. I
Horizon.
saw. That's why I was surprised that you might want these plates.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having like interchangeable plates.
My PlayStation now sits behind my TV, so that's why I don't really want the faceplates. Definitely want the controller though. Like the last special controller I bought, besides my Forza controller for PC/Xbox, was the Last of Us 2 Special Edition controller.
All right, cool. And last but not least, they kind of, the statue went on sale for Spiderman.
It did.
It's dope statue. I'm quite sure it's gone now.
I see people online freaking out about how Yuri Lowenthal, which for those who aren't aware is the voice of Spider-Man, didn't get hooked up with one. And I'm like, it's a very limited edition thing. Why would the voice actor get hooked up with a collector's edition item? That's not a guarantee.
Yeah. I think they probably just give him the game.
Yeah, he'll get the game for free. That's but if he wants the collector's edition item, he's got to pay for that. Shell out. Yeah. I've never heard of a game studio giving someone the collector's edition of their game because they're very specifically limited edition items.
Yeah. You're not getting a statue.
No. That thing's $300, by the way.
Yeah. And then if you give Yuri one, you have to give everybody one, I'm assuming.
Everybody in the cast, yeah, and that's taking stock away from regular consumers, right?
Yeah, so. You'd have to give. I'm assuming you have to give the guy who plays Miles one. You have to give the person who plays Venom one.
That's what do you mean the person who plays Venom? You can just say Tony Todd. Come on now, you know who
Tony Todd is. I didn't want to say it because whatever.
That's not a spoiler. People know who Tony Todd is.
Yes,
Candyman, Professor Zoom, the coroner / death in Final Destination.
Yes. How do you know all these movies but don't know goddamn Bloodsport?
Because Final Destination scarred a generation of people from wanting to drive behind a truck carrying logs.
Bloodsport had a bunch of people thinking they could fight when they really couldn't fight.
I also can't fight. So.
And people had people want to go to the Kumite.
I don't know what the fuck that means, and you know it.
Oh my God. Let's move on. So, our main topic for the day is, because if you know we haven't talked about it yet, the PlayStation Q leaked. And it didn't leak like a little way. It leaked in a big way. Like a person that has the system. So I wanted to talk about it here because I think this is pretty interesting that a person has it this early. So let me get to some of the details that we kind of found out about it, because there's a lot of stuff that they talked about with the system. And one of the things is, I don't know if I should give the person's name who posted the leak video. So I won't. I don't think that's a good idea. But if you Google PlayStation View, not PlayStation Q, you can probably find it.
Yeah,
you can find it on Twitter.
But do not leak their name. We are not being the cause of Pinkertons being sent to someone's house. Thank you very much.
Yes. Their Twitter @ so go look for it yourself. But a basic version of the PlayStation Q shows that it's running on Android OS, and it has kind of like a simple it has a QR code on it, and it has like a simple menu. But it's kind of like it's kind of like early in the early stages of the UI, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, because this thing doesn't even really have a launch date yet.
Yeah, so let's get to the first thing. Now that we see somebody with it in their hands, Hayley, what do you think about it?
No, I still don't think it's a good design.
It's bullish, you ugly.
It's more than that. Thing looks cheaply made. It
It
looks like
does.
they cut a dual set, like literally, like we joked about this before, but now that we've seen it in someone's hands, it looks like they cut a dual sense in half and just slotted in a phone. Like
It does. It doesn't look
it's
great.
it doesn't look great. And you know, if this thing's actually running Android UI, I give it like less than a month before the thing is hacked.
Yeah, that's what the next thing I was going to ask you about. Like, it's running on Android UI, so in theory, it's possible this thing get hacked. I wonder if it has any storage in it, if it has any SD slots, anything like that.
Well, it's supposed to be just a streaming device, right? So probably no storage, but that doesn't matter. If you're jailbreaking the device, that storage or not, that's not going to stop you from accessing things you shouldn't.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I'm curious on how far they can go with it to kind of jailbreak it and put things on it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think they've already jailbroken a PS5. I don't know if it stayed that way, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading about somebody jailbreaking their PS5. Um, with Android UI, that thing's getting hacked super quickly. So
Yeah, and the person who has the like I said, you can look at all this stuff. Matter of fact, you go on the Verge has an article on it you can check out. The person took it apart, so you can see the inside of it and things like that. So you can kind of get an idea of what's under the hood. And like I said, this is bowl and shoe ugly.
oh yeah.
It's ugly. Like it literally, like Haley said, it literally looks like a PS5 controller with a tablet slapped in the middle of it. It's no. It's to me what's baffling about it to me is the fact that Sony has, for a while, I would say, made elegant looking consoles. Even though the PS5 is big, it still looks kind of elegant. This does not look like that. This looks like, hey, let's just throw something together.
This looks like, hey, what if we made a Batarang but made it white and ugly and huge for no reason?
Yeah, it doesn't have the
Which,
same pizzazz that.
which again, everybody joked about this thing being used as a Batarang, but if you tried to use this as a Batarang, I'm pretty sure it would shatter into 1,000 pieces. So
Well, probably, yeah. It doesn't look as
sturdy as people thought it would be.
yeah.
I don't know. It's a very not great design, I'll be honest. And seeing it like in someone's hands also doesn't look great. So are you gonna get one? Is the other question.
I don't know. Depends on the price.
I guess people are thinking 199, which in Canada would be $300, but still, I don't know, man. Thing looks terrible. And also, if it's just a streaming device with no Wi-Fi or anything like that, come on now. Or
You
sorry,
know,
no data.
it's like and I gotta call a spade when it comes to this. It's just the 8-inch tablet that has dual set controllers in it, and it has no. It doesn't have Wi-Fi, right?
It has Wi-Fi. It does not have data, so you
Yeah, it
can't
has
like go
Wi-Fi.
outside the home and
This
use it.
seems like a Wii U tablet,
Yeah.
and to be fair, and I'm going to be fair, I don't know if people are going to like me saying this. We clowned the Wii U for doing this.
Yep. Everybody did.
The Wii U was
Everybody
like
clowned on
the
the
Wii U
U.
was like a failure. I know people love the Wii U and people love it for what it became, but people clown the Wii U for that. And that's what kind of makes the Switch so awesome because the Switch kind of got it right. But why go back and do what the Wii U did, but uglier? Because it's like this. I
Like,
think the Wii.
like at least the Wii U gamepad was like a solid thing. Like it was like the screen was in the middle of it and you couldn't just pull the edges off and break it. Like
Yeah, this doesn't look like that. This looks
like if you pull too hard in one direction or you squeeze too hard, you're ripping the tablet out of the controller.
yeah. I feel like this is one of those things I would have to see like in person, like to kind of understand why they did this. But then again, a lot of decisions places have been making lately. I'm kind of like, why are you doing this again?
Yeah.
But I guess,
Old Jim Lion Ryan.
yeah, I guess that's kind of the thing. I don't like it,
No, I don't either.
but I am interested to see how it turns out, and I want to see what they can do with it. Any functionality they can add to it to make me want to get it, because that's the most important thing. Like, they have to sell me on why do I need this.
That's fair.
Because honestly speaking, being like, oh, you can just play your PlayStation 5 on your couch. Like, or I can just play my PlayStation 5 on my couch with a regular controller. I don't need to look at the screen to do that.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, this thing only having Wi-Fi and not being usable outside the house or whatnot makes no sense. My PlayStation 5 is in my room. If I don't feel like sitting in my chair, I can literally just grab my controller, hop in bed, and play. The TV is right there.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what? To me, it doesn't make it like, oh, I guess it makes a little sense if you're a
Have
person.
multiple people to share a TV with, sure,
Yeah.
but even then, they already have this. It's called your mobile phone and a
And the
backbone
Yeah,
attachment.
I'm gonna say that you have the backbone. So why would you spend?
Which you have a PlayStation licensed and branded official version of, I might add.
Yes. So why would you spend $300, $300 for this if you can just go buy a backbone for what? $70. Let me look at the price.
A backbone in Canada is $99, so probably $75 in the US.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Talk while I look up the backbone.
Yeah, I don't understand. I still don't understand what the purpose of this device is. Like, doesn't make any sense and looks ugly as shit. So
Yeah, it's really ugly. I'm going
You're,
on the backbone website right now.
I mean, you could just Google backbone, and I'm sure I could get a
I
price
did.
faster.
It's $99 on the backbone website.
Okay, hold on. If it's 99 in the US, what is it here?
I'm on their website. So let me go on Amazon, because Amazon probably will give me the actual price it is, because sometimes the website just gives the price that is.
It's $139.99 here for the backbone, the PlayStation specific branded one.
Okay.
So
yeah, on Amazon it's $99.99 too. So yeah, it's $100. So if this thing's, which it will be, it's more than $100. It's like, what I need this.
yeah, it's interesting. I literally don't understand. So
Anything else you got to say about this monstrosity?
no, just buy a backbone if you're interested in doing this. That's my anything else I have to say. Just buy a backbone if you're interested in this kind of experience.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like a device that needs to exist. I would have preferred it almost feels like a half measure.
Yep.
I would prefer them be like, hey, we're gonna make a console similar to what the Steam Deck is, and if you're gonna make this, go all the way out with it. Give me a reason to want it. Don't do this half measure bullshit.
But that's Jim Ryan for you.
Yeah, it's baffling. Well, let's go to our question. We got some questions we can go to and kind of get through this. We're making good time. Our first question is from Eddie V. And he asks, do you think Nintendo and Sony will sell big on October 20th with Mario and Spider-Man in the console arena? Do you think Mario's Switch design could beat the Spidey design?
I didn't even know there was a Mario Switch design.
I didn't either. Let me look it up.
I
must have forgot it.
Don't know.
Well, to answer that question, it's greatly possible,
I mean, it's Mario, so
people love Mario. I think that's gonna be a big day in gaming in general, because the cool thing about it is that both of them are console exclusive games, so they don't really hurt each other's sales.
Correct. And also generally Mario is like I want to say family friendly enough that like it encapsulates more of the market. Whereas Spider-Man, while I'm sure still being rated T, captures a very specific kind of audience, right? Like it's those who are into Spider-Man, which again, Spider-Man is like one of the most popular superheroes. Like he's up there with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and then a pretty like it's those three and Spider-Man. And I don't remember what place Spider-Man is in there. And before people say it's top, yeah, your bias is showing. Um,
Well,
but
to be clear, Spider-Man is one of the best-selling games on PS4 and PS5. Like they
yes.
sell very well, and Mario, of course, is Mario. Mario sells very well. So both of these games are going to do super well,
Oh
regardless.
yeah. Um, So I looked it up, by the way. The only Switch like Mario design I'm seeing were like the specific like Mario Red and Blue console. I don't think if there is a Mario Switch version, it's been announced yet.
Okay, there you go.
Um, but if they do a custom design for the new Mario game, um, then I'm sure they'll be competing for console sales. But again, Mario is like the whole family. Spider-Man is for those who are interested in Spider-Man because somebody who doesn't give a flying fuck about Spider-Man like at all is probably not going to pick up Spider-Man because of a console design, you know?
Yeah, but then again, like I was saying earlier, they're not really competing. I,
No,
th-
no, they're
I
not.
feel like I feel like the people who want a Switch are going to get a Switch and just happen to buy that Mario Switch if there's a Mario Switch out there that's coming out. And people who want a Spider Man is going to get the Spider Man for PS5 because that's the only place you can get it at.
Well, yeah. And I mean, like, again, that's what I was trying to allude to, right? Is that, like, Mario captures, like, a wider audience because, again, while they're not competing, Mario's for the whole family. But Spider Man is for those who are interested in Spider Man or who are interested in single player, story driven games from Sony and Insomniac and stuff like that. They're not the same audience. Like nobody's going to a Mario game for a hard hitting, emotionally driven story, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. But, like I said, it just depends on what audience wants to get it. But like I said, it's two completely different audiences for two completely different consoles that are not really going to interact unless I guess unless a
Somebody
person,
buys both on the same day.
yeah, unless
Yeah.
they both have the same console, unless somebody has both of the consoles, like somebody has a PS5 and somebody has a Switch and they want either they
I'd be
pick for the
more
two.
concerned about other games coming out on the PS5 closer to Spider-Man
Exactly.
than I would Mario, to be
But
honest. Like,
but to add to that, I think in that case, games probably have to get out the way of Spider-Man. Like if you have a game, unless you maybe Call of Duty, if you have a game coming out October 20th, if you're on PlayStation, get out the way of that. Move.
that's well, but the game that comes out like that time isn't moving. You know what game that is,
What
right?
game comes out October 20th? That's on PS5.
Hot Wheel. It's not October 20th. It's October 19th. It's literally the day before. October 19th is Hot Wheels Unleashed 2.
But that's coming out everywhere, so it might be fine.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting.
I
Like
wouldn't risk it though.
this fall, I wouldn't either. This fall season is packed, dude.
Yes, it is. It's a
And
good thing.
we obviously got confirmation from a leak the other day about Modern Warfare 3 being what's coming out for COD this year, which we knew they were doing DLC for Modern Warfare 2 that morphed into a full game and is now just the end of the Modern Warfare games, which makes sense. So where the hell is that being slotted in?
I don't know. I would guess November maybe. I don't know. It's
Interesting.
weird.
We got to stop Makarov.
All right. Our next question is from Geek to Me Radio. He asks, "What would your ideal version of a brand new Indiana Jones open world video game look like?"
Well, it wouldn't be open world. My ideal Indiana Jones game, it wouldn't be open world. It'd be linear story based game because Indiana Jones open world is just Uncharted.
Uh, I was gonna say I'll give my answer since you said that. I was gonna say what they did with Tomb Raider. I would do with Indiana Jones. The exact same thing. The whole concept
Okay,
of
but which Tomb Raider are we doing? Like, are we doing Shadow? Are we doing Tomb Raider? Or are we doing Rise of the Tomb Raider? Because your answer here greatly, like, that will greatly change what kind of game you're trying to emulate.
I want to say, shit. I want to say a mix of all three of those because they all have different elements of games that I like about
Well,
each one of them. Even though
okay.
Rise was it Rise? Which was the third one?
Third one is Shadow, which has way less combat and more puzzles, and you're way more constrained in what you can do in certain sections of the game.
Yes, I think you add the more puzzle centric things into from the Shadow, right?
That was, yeah, Shadow was the one that was mostly done by Eidos. Yes.
Yes, you add the puzzle centric things of Shadow. You add the brutality from the first one.
The brutality stayed the same throughout the whole series.
Yeah, but it felt a little bit more off-putting in the first one, I think.
It definitely did when you're sliding down like a broken plane ramp and you just go like face first into a fucking spiked pole and she goes,
yeah. And I think you add in Rise was so good.
So the reason I ask is because Rise and Shadow both feature not full open, but very big open areas to explore.
I was going to say the big open areas of Rise.
But Tomb Raider, like 2013 Tomb Raider, is like a more linear area, like a more linear style game with only a couple areas that are a bit larger, but not fully open.
I feel like Rise has the better open area. So I would say add the. I actually wish Eidos could have been working on it, or Square Enix could have been working on this too, on the indie game, because that would have been really cool.
Well, Square Enix is not Square Enix, but like Crystal Dynamics does have a Tomb Raider game in development with Amazon. So,
well, I mean, an indie game.
I know what you mean. I'm just saying, like, you're getting more Tomb Raider. So,
yeah, which is cool. Yeah, I would like whoever made that, get them to make indie. I know that's not going to be indie, but that's what I wanted.
Yeah, I don't know what Machine Games Indiana Jones game is going to look like, but I'll say, like, my ideal Indiana Jones game is not open world. Like, at most, do what Rise of the Tomb Raider did, but even then, I'd rather just have, like, a linear story with Indy because he works better in that capacity than I feel like he would in an open world.
Okay, that's a fair assessment. All right. Our next question from the 69 Whiskey Podcast. He asked, have you had a chance to play any of the old Call of Duty games yet? Granted, now that the servers are fixed on Xbox.
Okay, so I think I own Modern Warfare 2, like 2009, like the original on 360, but no. Again, I haven't turned my Xbox on in forever. I should probably do that. I think I have like 36 console updates waiting for me.
I haven't played the older Call of Duties in a while.
Well, they're all available for purchase now, is why people are asking. So
yeah, the one I would probably go back to is not even that old. It's probably Infinite Warfare,
which you can play on PS4 because I know you own it.
Yes, because I was really enjoying that one, and something happened to make me stop playing it. So I kind of want to get back to Infinite Warfare.
Something happened that made you stop playing it. I want to say that a bunch of other releases came out at the same time, and you just didn't have time to continue with it.
Maybe. I'm trying to think what came out.
Because I know it wasn't the Kevin Spacey thing, because that came out like 2 years after Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, Infinite Warfare is the one with Jon Snow, if I remember correctly.
No. Infinite Warfare has Kevin Spacey in it. Oh, but my point is the Kevin Spacey controversy is not what made you stop playing.
No, that one I beat. So it's not Infinite Warfare. It's what's the Call of Duty game with Jon Snow in it?
Isn't that Advanced Warfare?
I don't know.
I want to say Kevin Spacey's in Infinite Warfare.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Oh, no. Okay, Kevin Spacey's in Advanced Warfare.
Yes, I beat that one. Infinite Warfare is the one I was talking about. That's the one with it's like in space. It's with Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I didn't finish.
That's the one where they started introducing realism difficulty, which is just, hey, do you feel like banging your head against a wall?
Yes, that's exactly what they said. Hey, you feel like banging your head against the wall? And yes, I do.
For anyone who doesn't know what realism difficulty is in Call of Duty, the enemies have the same amount of health. You, however, die in one shot.
Yes. But I remember the story being pretty interesting in Infinite Warfare. It had zero gravity and stuff like that. And I never finished it. 2016, that's when it came out. So I would go back to that one.
Okay, good to know.
Our next
Oh,
question.
actually, sorry. I'd love to go play the story for Cold War. I am not downloading a 200 gigabyte Call of Duty game. I went to install that because it was part of PS Plus. That thing's 175 gigabytes, dude.
Did I finish Cold War?
I don't know. Did you?
I don't remember. Well, I have to go check.
That game's fucking wild, dude. I started installing it. It was like, oh yeah, 30 gigs till it's ready. I looked at it. It's like, nah, 30 out of 175 gigs. I was like, fuck that. I'm not. No.
I probably didn't finish it because of that. I probably have downloaded it
No.
now because of me having a bigger hard drive. So yeah, I probably download that one.
I have a bigger hard drive and I'm still not downloading 175 gigabytes of a Call of Duty game I'll play for 10 hours.
Yeah, I play it and beat it and be done with it, and delete it right back off. Yeet it right off my shit.
Yeet that shit out the window.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Our next questions, because it's two, is from John32. And he asked the first one, are you watching Secret Invasion? And if you are, what's your thoughts so far?
Okay.
So Haley, are you watching Secret Invasion?
Again, I'm in the middle of an MCU rewatch, so no, I haven't watched Secret Invasion.
Jesus Christ. I am watching Secret Invasion. I think it's really good. Let me rephrase. I think it's good. I think it's a little bit slow burn. I think people aren't used to that. I think
also, like, it's got a weird fetishization with like, hey, let's end every episode with like a big shocking moment. I've heard so.
A little bit, not really. It's old man fury, kind of. That's kind of the story that's kind of telling, and it's cool.
Which, by the way, is not even what Secret Invasion was in the first place. And the fact that they told the director to not read the Secret Invasion comics because that's not what they're going for feels real fucking weird to name the show Secret Invasion. So.
Yeah, it is a little weird. I think I have questions about the show, and I don't want to spoil the show because I think
that's literally why I didn't say I know how they're ending every episode. By the way, that's literally why I didn't say what they're ending every episode with.
Yeah, but as I see myself watching it, I ask the same question every time, and I can say this. I'm like, every episode after whatever happens, like, with all this stuff happening right now, don't you think you should be calling somebody? Like, this probably can be solved if you make that one phone call. But the fact that you choose not to.
Wait. Hold on. Sorry. No, don't. Like, you don't have to spoil things for people. But I'm sorry. Isn't that a question asked in the first episode? And he just goes, nah, fuck it.
It's asked multiple times.
Oh,
like multiple different people. And he says, nah, each time.
That is literally contrived bullshit for contrived bullshit reasons.
Exactly. And it's even more infuriating.
It's like the trope where characters don't communicate with each other and then they get mad at each other for not communicating with each other. Y'all have phones. Pick up the fucking phone.
It's even more infuriating considering who's in the show.
I know.
It's like,
really? I know who's in the show. You're not spoiling things for me.
As a matter of fact, I can talk about this part. It's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Rhodey's in the show.
Yeah, I know.
At no point in time you don't think you're like, hey, something's weird going on here. Let me talk to this other guy who happens to be a goddamn Avenger.
Yeah. Also, at multiple points, I keep seeing people go having a theory. Oh, Rhodey is a Skrull. I'm like, no, that's no.
Yeah. It's a really interesting show. I'm enjoying it. It's only one episode left. I think as time is going on, people are getting used to these MCU shows, so the hype and the buzz have kind of died down for them, but they're still pretty solid shows.
Yeah. I will say it's still real weird that they chose to use AI art for their opening sequence for that show.
It's not good. It's not. I'm not saying because it's like, oh, I hate AI art. It's just no. It's just not a good. It's not a good intro. It's like
Oh, the intro looks terrible,
it's just
dude. It's
gibberish. Like this
terrible.
is
Yeah.
garbage. Like it's not
Also,
even.
doesn't the intro like completely change Samuel L. Jackson's name?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not me having a rage against AI art because I don't like AI art necessarily either.
I
But
mean, no. We can rage against AIR. It's part of the reason that the actors and writers are on strike right now. Pay your goddamn writers and actors their fair share.
yeah,
And stop using AI.
yeah. There you go. Haley said it. All right. John 32's next question is also with Delvin joining Shaq last week and Donnie turning PSVG into Empire. When can we expect a visit from Dat Ninja Dev on XP? Spider-Man 2?
You can expect a visit from Dev on the show whenever Dev asks and wants to get up at ass o'clock in the morning, which is probably never, by the way, because we record at ass o'clock in the morning specifically for Dev.
Well, there you go.
For well, like when we recorded with Dev before, it was like 6 a.m. for him, so like 9 a.m. for us, right? Like it was later in the day for Delvin and I than recording early for Dev. If we were to record at our current time with Dev would have to get up at 4 in the morning. Dev's
Yeah.
not doing that for his show.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'd have to do like a night show or something for Dev to actually join us.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Well, we've done night shows before because of my work schedule, so but yeah.
We'll see. Ask Dev. Ask Dev when he wants to come.
That's a question to ask Dev. He's more than welcome to come on the show. Like there's no rules about him not coming on here or anybody else from PSPG not coming on here. It's more a matter of the time that we record just usually doesn't work for everybody else.
Because I'm a busy man.
Yes, Delvin is a very busy man, which is why I have no qualms getting up early in the morning to record.
Yes. All right. Our next question from Smoking Joe. He says, what is your hype level for the new Borderlands movie? Haley, you go first.
Right in the fucking trash, dude. That's what my hype level is for this movie. You cast Kevin Hart as Roland. You cast the only good casting for this movie is Jack Black as Claptrap. What are we fucking doing, man?
I am going to say my hype level is at a 2 because I know little to nothing about this movie. I know the cast. Hasn't even been a trailer or something like that for it yet?
There's not been a trailer. This movie is completely filmed, I might add, and it's still not coming out till like September next year. This movie is going to be a garbage fire. And might I add, Craig Mazin was attached to this film and recently came out and said, yo, I want my name struck from this. I do not want the credit for it. I do not want anything. Get this movie off my repertoire.
Craig Mazin?
Right. Yeah, the writer of Chernobyl and Last of Us HBO literally was attached to this movie. And also Eli Roth no longer wants his name attached to this movie. When your writer and your director are like, yo, fuck this movie, get it off our IMDb page, you've got an issue.
Yeah. Initially, I thought you said Craig Mack, and that would have made the movie infinitely more better. Like, Craig Mack's attached to the movie? Rest in peace to the homie. Flavor Yeah, great song. But now, Craig Mazin, I don't know. Whatever.
Well, you know who he is. He did Chernobyl. He did Last of Us for HBO.
Yeah. Okay. Craig Mack. I like Craig Mack better. Flavor Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Great song. Rapper. Rest in peace, Craig Mack. Great rapper. All right. Our final question is from Pastor, Mr. Underlord, Wizard Lucas Ham Swisher.
Oh my God.
He says, so with The Last of Us series ranking in the Emmy nominations and likely even more television / entertainment awards in the future, what is the next Sony IP that can have a chance of doing the same thing outside of T-Lou Season 2, of course? Maybe the Twisted Metal series? Absolutely not.
Lucas, I don't want to quash your hopes and dreams, man, but if the fucking Twisted Metal show gets nominated for an Emmys, get rid of the whole award show. Just get rid of it.
Probably. So what's the next Sony project that you think could probably get these type of accolades?
Maybe Ghost of Tsushima.
That
But
was what I was going to say.
that wouldn't be going for an Emmy because that's a movie. That
Well, he
can't
was
go
saying
for an Emmy.
accolades in general. It doesn't have to be an
Yeah,
Emmy,
I
just
know.
like accolades.
Maybe Ghost of Tsushima. If they do well, we know they're gonna do a sequel to Uncharted, but again, the actors are currently on strike. The writers are currently on strike. Pay your goddamn writers and actors.
I assume Horizon, for at least for special effects.
So
maybe.
that's where I'm iffy. Horizon's being done by Netflix, right? Which they don't have a very good track record when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
God of War, maybe. That's being
God
done
of
by
War.
Prime.
That's a good one. Yeah. That could be pretty cool. Yeah.
It all depends, because like if Twisted Metal looked better, maybe it would have that thing. But Twisted Metal looks bad, and even in that trailer at the at like Summer Games Fest, you could tell Will Arnett did not have confidence in that show.
Well, to be fair, Twisted Metal is a comedy.
Even it being a comedy, when Will Arnett, comedian funny guy, looks so disappointed in what's being shown, you've got an issue.
Yeah, I agree.
The man was on Arrested Development. Like, yeah. The man is a comedy genius usually, but he looked so disappointed in what he was showing.
Well, what about genius? He's been in comedies.
He's been in good comedies, is my point. And he looked so disappointed for that trailer to be shown at Summer Games Fest.
It's not a good trailer.
It's very much not a good trailer.
But the show could be funny. Most comedies don't really get high praise for being funny. They get high praise for being funny, but they don't get like Emmy nominations for being just funny.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine disagrees with you.
That's one out of how many?
Arrested Development disagrees with you.
Well, there's a couple, but it's not like it's everything. Like
New Girl disagrees with you. I can name multiple shows that got Emmy nominations
people don't look at
nominations for just being funny.
But people don't look at comedies like that. People look at comedies like, hey, I'm here to laugh. They don't really look at it like, hey, this is the Emmy Award-winning comedy, which is comedy deserves more accolades.
That is a fair assessment.
Yeah.
But also, people are looking at Twisted Metal like it's.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Twisted Metal doesn't look great. Then that's kind of. I'll give you a good example of that. Hip hop artists. There are a lot of hip hop artists that put out classic albums. But mainstream media doesn't look at hip hop like, oh, this is a classic album. They don't. You don't see a lot of mainstream media talk about Nas's Illmatic or Notorious Big's Ready to Die, which are clearly classic hip hop albums. But it's just based on the genre, really. Certain things get looked at as
but even in the genre, when you've got people who watch comedies for like reviews, looking at this thing going, why is this a thing? And why does it look so bad? Yeah. And why is it such a waste of talent? Like,
I agree.
Like this, like Twisted Metal has Anthony Mackie, Will Arnett, and others in it, and your first showing is that.
Yeah, I hope it's good though. I hope it's at least funny. I wouldn't have went that way with Twisted Metal. I would have kind of went a completely different direction. But maybe it'll be good. I don't know.
And yes, before people come at me on the internet, yes, I know Samoa Joe was in Twisted Metal, but he's not actually voicing anything. That like Will Arnett is doing the voice for Samoa Joe's character. So
yes, Samoa Joe is Sweet Tooth's body, and Will Arnett is the voice.
Yeah, which that's got to be a weird contract thing, right? Like
it is.
That's weird.
All right, I think that'll do it for us for this episode.
As always, pay your goddamn writers and actors their fair share.
PlayStation